because there's some people who couldn't join us today and really wanted to. So the agenda for today is we'll start with a quick overview of the challenges that your organization might face with this in the season and beyond. I'll talk about kind of how current channels might not be serving you as well as you might expect. Then I'll jump into an overview of the Village app, where it came from, why now is a great time to join. And if technology cooperates with me, we will jump into a quick demo of the app, a live demo as well, and leave the last few minutes for a Q&A session. So I don't think I have to spend too much time highlighting the different challenges that your organization might face during this season. There's definitely an increase of demands for services that happens during this time of year. And as I'm sure you know, there's also an overall increase as the economy continues to push people to their breaking point. So you might also have limited resources to deal with an increase, with this increase, and you might be experiencing staffing issues. That's something that we've come across quite frequently, that there's a lot of high turnover within nonprofit organizations and municipalities, and also a more prescriptive funding landscape. So people who are funding nonprofits want you to use it for a very specific reason, and that might not actually be the reason that suits your community. So there's also a decrease of volunteers as that age group kind of starts aging out of the capacity to volunteer, and the younger generations just aren't replacing them at the same rate. Or you could have a completely opposite problem, is that you have so many people wanting to help in different ways, and you just don't know how to assign them certain tasks or take advantage of their particular skill set. So to combat these problems and to reach your community, a lot of organizations turn to various channels. So I want you just to take a moment and think about all the different channels that you might use. So it could be email or different social platforms to get those messages across. So whether that's volunteering or fundraising or events, or maybe an urgent notice of something happening, or even just general awareness of what you do. And I want you to kind of think, how are these channels actually working for you? Do they work well? How much time do you spend creating the content, maintaining it, building an audience, and kind of tending to that audience to make sure that you're staying relevant and they're staying engaged? And you might even be fortunate enough to have somebody that you pay to do all of this work, and this is their sole job to do all of that work for you. So while you're thinking about that, I just wanted to give you guys a little snapshot of how engagement platforms work if you're unfamiliar with it. So I'll use our own social page for it. I've taken Instagram and Facebook because they tend to be the most popular. So on Instagram, we have 781 followers, and on Facebook, we have 1,000 followers. And so if we're looking at reach here, which is a really important metric because it highlights how many unique individuals saw that post. So how many of that post actually appeared on their feed. And then impressions is slightly different because it's how many times that appeared on a person's feed, and it could be the same person over and over again. So despite us having 781 followers on Instagram and 1,000 on Facebook, our posts were actually only seen by 3 to 9% of the people who follow us. So this is a fairly accurate average across industries. So if your 1,000 followers don't engage with your content consistently, it literally drops off their feed and they will never see it again. So even if you have 10,000 followers, only 10% of those people actually see it. So even though these people liked your organization enough to press the follow button, they don't see your content, and that's kind of out of sight, out of mind. They don't necessarily go digging for it unless they feel really passionate about your organization. So while your community might actually want to show up and volunteer and pack hampers or have extra coats to donate or attend civic events, they just aren't seeing it because the algorithm hasn't shown it to them. And then there's obviously an issue of harm and toxicity that exists on these platforms. They're literally designed to keep your eyes glued to the screen as long as possible, and aren't there to actually build community and build those relationships. And this may be new to you, all of this, or you might know this already, but let's get into kind of how we can make this a little bit better and your time spent a little bit better connecting with your audience. So as mentioned, I'm the co-founder of the Village app. it was born out of necessity when I had a surprise third pregnancy that turned out to be twins. And I needed a lot of helping hands, as you can see in that picture. Like, don't you just want to jump in there and like take a baby? That's what I want to do. So my background is in public health. I've spent the last 14 years working as a public health nurse dealing with families. And I found both professionally and in my personal life that there's just a serious lack of resource sharing and service coordination. At the same time, I found out that I was pregnant. I found out that my mom was diagnosed with cancer. My son was being flagged for autism and ADHD, and my husband worked out of town and still does. So what I did find is that there was never a lack of people that wanted to help me if only they knew that I needed it. But posting these happy, shiny pictures on social media just didn't portray the day-to-day struggles that I had, or sometimes even the minute-to-minute struggles that I had with dealing with 4 kids. And when I did muster up the courage to ask for that help, it just wasn't getting seen because, again, the algorithm was weeding it out of my feed, or people actually weren't even seeing the content until days later. So I thought there must be a better way to connect with my support network to the right people at the right time so that they get those messages that are important. And I also didn't want to have to create a very long explanation of why I felt I deserved that help. So, and at the same time, Karen was experiencing her own needs with her family. She had a family member in crisis, and also she was caring for an aging parent. So same, different life spots, but definitely, both needing to experience that village. So in 2020, we joined forces and we created the Village app. And it's really evolved a lot since then. And what the Village app is a place, it's a relationship building tool that allows you to access your community. And it's how you choose to access your community. So there's no algorithm getting in the way. And there's 3 simple actions that happen. It's requests, offers, and events. And the best part is 100% of the people that you choose to see this message get the message. It's not based on engagement. It doesn't require constant posting. It doesn't require you to be with the latest hashtags and dances and videos and all that kind of stuff. It literally takes 30 seconds to get your message out to those right people. So now I'm going to stop sharing this screen. I'm going to share another screen. Hopefully it cooperates. I do have a backup plan if it doesn't, but it can be a little finicky sometimes. So just bear with me as I stop sharing this one, and I'm going to share my phone screen. And Karen, if you could just confirm what you see when I get there. And you probably just see me.
I see you. And I know in a moment we're going to see your phone.
Is that it?
Sure is. Yeah.
It worked this morning. Yay. So the Village app is an app, and it might look a little similar to some of the technology you're used to using, as far as it has a feed, or what we call a dashboard. It also has a navigation bar at the bottom. But what you might notice to be different is that there is no likes, there's no comments, there's no place for that noise and toxicity to happen. We're really focused on tangible actions. So while you might go to other platforms to say, what is the best restaurant in town, or where can I find this? This is really based on a need or something that you have to offer. And so Karen sent out one earlier that she did for volunteering. I can open up that she offered this volunteering. And so if I was an organization and I wanted to take advantage of Karen's offer here, I would click available. And then Karen would get that message that what organization wanted help. And then it would go, or it should go. My Wi-Fi is a little slow this morning. And when it's filled, it will go grayed out. And so everybody knows that Karen has been, there it goes. So that Karen that offer has been accepted. Same goes with requests. So if you have a request because you need some donations or a volunteer for a specific thing, you can just send that out, and they can essentially, kind of like a community bulletin board, pick it off of there. And so when things are filled or no longer relevant, they go gray, and ones that are not stay stay colored so people know that it's still relevant. And then you can just archive it as well. So once it's not relevant on your feed, you can just press that archive button. The My Village tab is kind of where you can maintain your community. The Friend Finder is a little more specific to individuals, but you can definitely find people in your area. So these are all people, according to my postal code, who live in my area. So a really great way to connect with your community, meet neighbors, especially if you're new to the area, or just even new to your neighborhood, to be able to find those people near you, and you can connect with them, message them. And the goal is to meet up with them and meet them in real life, and really be able to ask for whatever you need from those people. And then nearby organizations. So this is all the organizations that are within a certain distance. So if I was an individual looking for an organization that maybe supports a Christmas project, then I would maybe want to connect with Christmas Elf here, and I would be able to connect with them directly. And when I connect with an organization, I am agreeing to receive 100% of their content. So that's when you get that's kind of how you create your community, is you can either invite people to connect with you, or they can find you within the app. And so this is a little bit about Project Christmas Elf. I could go to their website, learn more about them, or I could connect with them directly, and then I'm a part of their village once they accept that connection request. So you really get to decide who is, we don't really like to use the term following, but who's a part of your village. You get to determine who those people are. And going back to the My Village tab, you can invite people, you can share the link via different platforms. You can also search people and invite them into your village that way. And then the circles might not make immediate sense to you, but I'll show you how we'll use them kind of in the next step here. So circles work in two ways. Circles can either be essentially like a contact list, or they can be more of an active group. So circles that are like a contact list are really based on some, if you want something to be more private, so like a food hamper clients, if you want, your food hampers are not going to arrive until Tuesday, and usually they come every Monday. You can put all your clients within this one list. They don't know who else is on this list, but you get to target that message directly to them to say, you know what, they're actually showing up on Tuesday. Everybody gets that immediate notification who's on that list. So sort of like a blind CC email that everybody gets the same message, but nobody knows who else is on there. I'll just open this up. So creating a circle is super easy. You can name it whatever you'd like, add a quick description. And so the private circles are what I just talked about, which is that contact list that is unique to whoever created that circle. And then there's a public circle, which you can just slide over here. And that's more of like a group setting. So maybe that's your volunteers that you want to, know each other and connect. Maybe you have a new moms group and you want those people to connect. So by making a public circle, everybody is now aware of who is in that circle and can utilize that circle. And sometimes we get the question of, what if somebody leaves our program or something like that? It's as easy as adding a plus or a minus to adding them to that circle. And I'll show you why circles are important. You have as many circles as you want. You can name them whatever you'd like, invite whoever you like. Multiple people can be in one circle as well. And I'm just going to skip over the middle button for a moment. This is the My Activity tab. So this is any thing that you've sent out. So if, let's say, you realize that you put the wrong date or time, or maybe you made a typo, you can just go in here and edit it. And down below is all the ones that have been you've interacted with. So whether you've accepted them or declined them will be there. So if you're like, oh shoot, I said I was going to show up to volunteer here and I forget what time or what place, that's where it will be. We also have a chat, just like any other chat. It can be a one-on-one chat. It can be a group chat. So now getting into kind of the real meat and potatoes of, what the Village app does, now that we kind of have the basis of how to organize our community. So this middle button, that's those 3 actions I was talking about. So this is creating your offer, your request, or your event. So an offer can be anything you'd like. We have some predetermined categories here. But if it doesn't fit in any of those, feel free to create your own. So I could say I have, some free stuff. I can put my location. If I have a brick and mortar organization, I can definitely put that address here. If it's just more broad, you can put anything you want. We're connected to Google Maps, so it can go as, specific as an address. You can go by neighborhood, or you can go as wide as just, Kelowna. So I'm going to put my neighborhood here where I am. So it will populate there. I can do a start time. I can do an end date. So if I'm going to say that I only have this, sometimes I give away free carrots. So if I only have a certain amount of time that I want that offer to be alive, or then I would put the end time. And so I can put a description in here. We've kept the description really short to 250 characters because we don't want people to ramble on about why they need help. It just should be quick to the point, or what they're offering, quick to the point. No one needs to explain anything. If you need help, we truly believe that if you need it, you don't need to explain it. Asking for help is difficult enough. So I'm going to just say that I have like a winter coat to give away. Say winter coat. And we're going to say ladies medium. And so then this is where those circles come into play. So I can send it to any of those circles that I created. I can send it to multiple circles. So if I have, an organization, if I follow as an individual, if I follow multiple organizations, and I want to offer that, and I don't know where to donate that to, I could create that offer, and then an organization could pick it up. On the other hand of it, if an organization is needing something or offering something, maybe you got a donation of bread that is going to go bad tomorrow, and you need to, offer that out as quick as possible. You can, send that to your clients that you already have, or you can send it to actually by area. So this area goes by your postal code. And so that means that anybody within the specific area will get a notification so that they have the app. And they live in the specific area. It does go up to 100 kilometers. So you could send up to whatever area is sufficient. This is really good for organizations because they're able to tap into, we have a decent user base in the Okanagan, able to tap in to people who might not be aware of their organization. So it's really good to get out there to be, we're doing this fundraiser or doing this event, and you might tap into some skill sets or people who want to volunteer or donate that don't already know about your organization. And being able to do these kind of bite-sized micro volunteering opportunities can be really great as well. So, I don't necessarily have time to volunteer every Tuesday at 4, but I am happy to, drop off an extra box of diapers or something like that if I know that you need help. And so I'm being fulfilled by helping, but also, unfortunately, my generation's a bit of lack of commitment and too busy for a lot of things. So I'm just going to send by circles right now. I'm going to do this. I know who's in that circle, so don't worry. I'm not sending it to random people. And so then I can just review it. If I find that I have a spelling error, I can edit it, and then I create it. So now that has gone out to everybody through push notification that has who is in that circle that I've decided. Requests are the same. I won't go through the whole thing, but we just have some certain different categories. So if you need, help, maybe you have to deliver, you have a big item like a fridge that you're delivering to a family in need, but you don't necessarily have the truck to do that. You can send that out to the community for that micro volunteering opportunity. And then events are slightly different. Events don't require a response. So the offers and requests have those buttons that have the available and unavailable. Events don't require that response. It's FYI only. So this could be a traditional event, like we're having a fundraiser, we're having a community barbecue, anything like that, even a community survey. You can put in your events link there, and it's just FYI for people to know about it. Events can also be something like, there's an accident at the end of the hill, please avoid it, things like that. So anything that you want your community to know about that's relevant, you can put in the events section. And then just to open up the side here, you can edit your profile. You can block users if needed. You can report users if needed. And then, we do get the question sometimes about how can we avoid this, like these bad actors and stuff. And it's really how we've built the app. And I'm just going to exit out of this part right now. It's really how we've built the app because there is no likes and comments. The comments are really where people get that platform to share, to, have that discussion about why they think their idea or whatever is the best idea. And then we get into, keyboard warriors and whatnot. So just some key takeaways, because I know that was a lot. And if you are confused about anything, we are happy to discuss it further. But some key takeaways is that we are not another channel that you have to maintain. We are not engagement based. We are intention based, focused on actions. So focused on people showing up versus these crowdsourced opinions. It's really meant to build relationships. So whether that's, in neighborhoods or people within local organizations or between your volunteers. Oh, geez, it says there we go. And then we just really want to give people a micro volunteering opportunity so that they can use their skills. And lastly, what we didn't talk about is really that data for good. A lot of the data used through the traditional platforms is to sell things back to you, is what we call surveillance capitalism. So we are never going to use that data to sell people anything. What we want to do is really use that data, which is we anonymize it. So you don't know, Sally down the street needs this, but it's, these 30 people within your community need this. And so it's giving you a good, clear picture of your community health without, compromising that privacy piece. And so as being part of an attendee today, we really, believe in this time of year is so difficult, and we really just want to help you get your message out there and get the support that you need. So we really want to give the Village app to you for free until the end of January. We'll give you the full access to our VIP services. You'll have access to our team. We know resources are tight. And so we really want to do that heavy lifting to get you up and running on the app and using our resources to get your community more involved. So I really appreciate your time. We have about 8 minutes left for any Q&As. It is free for individuals. So feel free to scan that QR code and you can download it and try it out for yourself. Organizations have slightly different features to use. So that's why it's a paid feature for the organizations. But again, we do want to get you onboarded for free. And so, yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And thank you so much for listening. And just come off mute if you have a question. No need to be formal about it.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Mauricio. How are you?
Good. So nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. And it's really nice to see you again.
Yes, thank you for coming.
I just have a question about pricing for organizations. It's based on features or size, or do you have any, can you share something about pricing, or is this a case-by-case thing that you?
Yeah, it is a bit of case by case. It depends how many people within your organization you want. So there's, if you're a municipality, that's a completely different pricing structure. But if you're a single nonprofit, it depends on your community size. So if you have a community under like your volunteers and the people that you want to reach is under 25 people, that's a free version of the app. If it goes a little bit higher, it basically tops out at $115 a month. So it goes, 50, 65, and then 115. And so we try to keep it really reasonable and really hope that the value that we're delivering is well worth that spend. But thank you for that question.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And another question just regarding, so it's by user. Okay. Yeah. I think I get it. Because I'm thinking it for like a program within the organization, you
Yeah.
know,
So
that
yeah,
app. Yeah, tell me too.
it depends. You could have the organization and then you could have those sub programs as circles in there. And so you could still have the whole organization in there and create those sub circles. But if you have a specific program in a specific organization, we would look at that program size if that's all you're going to use it for and do a pricing structure around that.
Okay. Yeah. Because you know the one of the things, like the program that this program that I see, I really want to create a community around it, but this is not a priority for the organization, you know. So they have other priorities based on contract, but the value that can bring, I think, is very important. So I want to create ideally create a community around mentors and mentees.
Right.
So it's just like, you know, ways to show the value of that before having to present it to somebody who makes the decision to spend. It's not much, but it's again, yeah, you know, it has
Yeah,
to.
and now even you could come on for free, right, until the end of January, and
Yeah,
just test it out to see if that value is there and be able to present that use case. So we'd be
awesome.
happy to assist you with getting that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Mauricio.
Wait.
Allison, did you have a
Hi.
question? Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I'm just trying to get clear. A group of us in Penticton who are working in food sustainability are trying to set up a way that we can communicate with each other when we get, say, a surplus of a type of food or something. So this looks ideal for that kind of thing. And I'm just trying to be clear on the pricing then. How would each organization, each of us, be paying a fee, or would our group pay a fee, or how would that work?
Yeah, so we've been chatting with some people in Penticton, and it would be per organization, but it looks like if you're within that food security group, that there might be some funding to get you guys off the ground with it. So we would have to, we can definitely discuss that further, but it would be per organization. But again, the pricing model is flexible in the sense that if you guys are not using it to connect with your community at all, you just want to connect with each other. So you don't want to go beyond and connect with volunteers or the community at large, and you just want to connect with each other as community organizations, then that would be a different pricing structure because it would be a minimal amount of people using the app essentially.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for your question. We have about 3 minutes left. Anybody has any other questions? I just really appreciate everyone coming. I know everyone's so busy, and so to take half an hour of your time to listen about what we're doing and how we're trying to really rebuild that community is really we just really appreciate all of you for coming. And so if there's no other questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. Then we will give you the rest of your morning back, and you guys will have a good day. I'll be in touch with a recording of this, and so if I went too fast, and also some follow-up materials as well, so you can kind of look at them at your own pace, and then we can go from there. So we really look forward to potentially working with all of you and seeing how we can create that village. All right, have a good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you, Ashley. So nice to see you. Nice to see everybody.
Likewise.